one of the people that we are in contact with, a scientist who's worked for Covert Products for many years, was in the military, and he developed the equations and the explanations and did the experiments to produce the anti-gravity or electrogravitic lift through his experiments. The colonel that was in charge of this man was all excited about it and was wanting to go forward on it, and was literally told to shut down the project because it was successful. Now, it gets more interesting because that information was taken to a major military government lab in Washington, D.C., and we have this information from the director of that lab.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out that that lab reproduced what this gentleman had done to the point where things, I'll just call them things because I don't know any more details, things were flying around the hangar using anti-gravity technology.
Fascinating.
Now, this is a major military lab in the white world, not the black world, but the white world. This wasn't in Lockheed Skunk Works or whatever. This is in the white world. I mean, secret and secure, but in the white world.
Mm-hmm.
They were successful. They were then, from on high somewhere, they got the word to shut down the project. It was too successful, and all the information and data were locked up in a safe somewhere in our capital. Now, that is from the director of the laboratory. So when people talk about anti-gravity being impossible, it's real. We know it can be done. The evidence is in the sky every day, and it is being suppressed big time. That is, I mean, what we consider that area kind of the golden jewel, if you will, of the breakthrough technologies suppression. And because, for a variety of reasons, one, it would totally transform our transportation industries and our parking lots everywhere, et cetera. And second of all, the technology can be reversed, essentially, to produce energy. Free energy, if you want to call it that. So it's no wonder that the people that want to control the global energy situation don't want this one out. But it's nice to know, from years in my perspective, in the white world, it's really nice to know that these things can be done. It's always easier to find out how to do something if you know it can be done than if you have no idea if it can be done or not in terms of doing research. So that's the good news, and there's a lot of people working on that around the country, and including yourself.
That's right. That's right. And I think the way to bring this technology to market is perhaps through the public. You know, showing the public, giving public demonstrations of this technology.
Well, that is certainly one of the strategies that we have, that once a technology, whichever one it is, whether it's a transitional technology or it's one or the other, but it's over unity, producing more power than in, and is robust. It follows what Dr. Tom Beard has often called the robust demonstrator. Something solid enough, robust enough, can sit on your table and produce energy without falling apart or breaking apart like the Sturm, or falling apart or not working like the Sturm device did a while back. And be able to demonstrate it to the public. Part of our strategy is, once we have something, is to let the public know, because by secrecy you continue the suppression of things. And so it's going to be the public, just as you've said, it's going to be the public that is going to basically clamor for the people of this country, the politician, whatever, to bring this technology out. They're hurting. The whole world's hurting in terms of energy. And so, and the public is going to have to take this under advisement in their own hands and make it happen. And that's one of the roles we see of the Orion Project. One of the roles of what you're doing with your radio program and many others are to make the public aware that there is something called hope. And let me just make a comment about that. Right now, as I see it, this is my analysis of it, the present global energy situation is such that most people have no clue that there's any breakthrough technologies out there that could change our paradigm. Furthermore, all they see on the news, the major media, is people talking about solar panels and wind turbines and biodiesel are the sort of the three big areas of energy stuff right now, with some other things along the side. Well, the problem is that I think everybody in their gut realizes that we aren't going to be driving our cars up and down the road on solar panels or windmills.
That's right.
And the biodiesel and the biofuels, the ethanol thing, is an environmental, economic disaster in terms of food production, fertilizers, and everything else.
Exactly.
Growing corn to make fuel for our cars. So that's not going to work over the long run, and I think most people are realizing that. Even maybe, and I'm being a little cynical here, maybe even politicians in Washington, D.C. may realize it's a bad idea. But I don't hold out a lot of hope on that one at this point. So, coming forth, whatever group does it, whether it's the Orion Project or Arrow or any number of other groups around this world and country, whoever comes out with a technology that allows the public to see that there are alternatives available, even though it might take 10 to 20 years to really totally integrate them into society, is going to give people on this planet a lot of hope that, my gosh, there is a different way. There is an alternative way to get energy, and we can do it. And that is, in itself, is probably one of the most important aspects of the work that we're all doing.
Okay, and Ted, your website again here?
The website is, I'll give you two websites. One is the Orion Project.org. That's one word, the, T-H-E, Orion, O-R-I-O-N, project, as in project. The Orion Project.org. It's an organization. And then the commercial end of what we're doing is Arrow2012.com. That's AERO2012.com. And that's a for-profit corporation to do research. And as we receive more and more gifts, we're encouraging people to perhaps put part or all of their income tax or their economic stimulus money from the government, perhaps giving half of it to the Orion Project. It's found money, new money. If they give some of it to the Orion Project, we can put together our $3 million budget, which is needed to set up a laboratory to bring in these scientists from all around the country for a year and a half to develop some of these technologies that we consider to be the low-hanging fruit, the technologies that with a year's worth of endeavor, some research and support, bringing in different scientists, creating a synergistic environment in which there's help from different disciplines. We feel within 12 months to 18 months, we can have some initial transitional technologies, energy for the public, and bring
Ted.
forth the hope, and then the sky's the limit from there.
All right, Ted. Another fascinating interview. I think we could go on for another hour or two here.
We could.
Perhaps a part two.
Well, we could do that down the line, probably in a month or a couple months as more things develop. We should do that, Bill.
Okay. I'd like to thank you for coming on the show today, Ted.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah, this was Ted Loder, Chief Science Advisor of the Orion Project.